Hello, in this video I'm going to step you through the process of using the Spyrus Windows to Go creation tools to configure and use Windows to Go drives. Now Microsoft has their own Windows to Go Creator Tool, but the Spyrus Windows to Go Creator Tool is necessary to provision our encrypted drives, like the WorkSafe Pro or the Secure Portable Workplace. Spyrus tools are also required to add advanced features like SEMS or the Spyrus Enterprise Management System, and read-only modes or data vaults to our drives. For that reason, I recommend using the Spyrus Windows to Go Creator Tools for all Spyrus products. In this video, we will not cover all the advanced features, but simply want to get you up and working with transferring a Windows image file or WIM file to our encrypted drives. Now, I recommend taking your WIM file. Here's a Windows 10 standard, and I'm going to copy it right to my desktop. In doing so, I'm copying it to my hard drive and get good access to it. In this video, I will be using a 64 gigabyte secure portable workplace drive as an example. Now, let's get started. The first thing we need to do is set execution policies for the machine, just so everything runs nice and smooth. So, for that, we type PowerShell. Now, when you see PowerShell pop up, you can right-click it and run it as administrator. This is going to allow us to set the policy. So we're going to type set hyphen execution policy. And then space, that's a one and only space, all signed. All right, now that that's done, just type exit and we're done. Now, if you have antivirus software, you may consider excluding this entire folder or simply disabling antivirus altogether for right now. Next, we're going to go to autoplay. And when autoplay settings come up, verify that this button's turned off for me. Otherwise, too many things pop up and it gets distracting. Now, in the event that something comes up, we plug in a drive and it says, do you want to format this drive? We're going to ignore those for right now. So let's get started. Let's open this folder. This happens to be version 4.9.2. And we're going to find a program that's called Spyrus WTG Creator. Now let's go ahead and run that. Now there's an end user license agreement. And we just hit continue. And it should find your drive. Now if it hasn't found your drive or it wasn't plugged in, here I'm going to unplug it. I'm going to refresh this list. Aha, it's gone. Let's plug it back in. I heard it enumerate. There was the sound. I'm going to try refreshing the list. There it is. Now, if for some reason you didn't find it, you may want to close other windows. And yeah, if you see one of these format disks, we can just ignore that for right now. Let's go ahead and highlight the one we want to format and click continue. Now it's asking us if we'd like to load settings from a saved configuration file. Well, we'll want to do that in the future if we ever want to provision more drives. But since this is our first one, let's click Create a New Configuration File. All right, well, the first thing we want to do is name our configuration file so we can find it for next time. Here, I'm just going to put it right in my Tools folder. And let's give it a name like Windows 10 Standard Setup. There we go. Let's save that. Now, it just creates an XML file. It's not a big deal. Next thing we want to do is find our Windows image file. Now, mine's right here. And I'm going to browse for that. I know it's on my desktop, and there it is. So far, that's pretty easy. I'm going to leave this as default. The boot settings. We can, of course, create, I recommend BIOS and EFI. Those are your two boot options. You could make it just EFI only, but I like for legacy machines BIOS and EFI. Boot password, well, we want to make it something interesting, right? So we'll call it Spyrus user. User, and then we need a special character and some numbers. There we go. That's a perfect one for now. Now we can actually set policy here for how complex you want the password to be, the number of characters that are minimum, how many password must contain how many of the following. There we go. So we must have the password fit this policy. We can also set up the wrong number of tries to be 10. We can also set up what we want to happen if that limit is reached. Should we block the password or to zeroize the drive? We can do either. I'm going to leave these all default for right now. I did want to set up Spyrus user #123 as my password. I'm going to go ahead and write that down so I don't forget it. All right. There's other options here for configuring the drive using BitLocker, for example, even setting up data vaults. But we're not going to get into that right now. There's an admin password. We can set one of those as well. Let's go ahead and set one of those. Password length, number of tries. Okay, we've got all of those as well. Spyrus admin $123. That should be fine. All right, it's letting us know that we're continuing and our encrypted drive will be zeroized or formatted. Now, it's telling us it's going to take 26 minutes to complete. That is an estimation. But it also is not going to decrement. This bar will fill in over time, but it is not truly representational. So realize you have about 26 minutes, so you have some time to go do something else. And, well, let's let it run, and we'll see you back at the end. All right, well, it's just about finished up. Here it is 26 minutes later. Few more steps. There, it says finished. See that down at the bottom? Finished. Okay, so now we can hit the done. We're done, so we can click exit. And, well, now we can take it to any PC we'd like and plug it in. Reboot that PC and find out, it's manufacturer dependent what you do next. For example, on HPs, you hit F10. On this happens to be a Lenovo, it's F1. On a Macintosh, you hold down the option button. It's a little bit different, but you need to find out how to get into your boot options. So let's see, what do we see? There's startup. Startup, where is it? It's down here. No, UEFI, okay, that's fine. But I see it up at the top. Primary boot sequence. There, we have my Lenovo drive. I move it down. So now the USB HDD with the Spyrus drive is first. So now we want to save changes and exit. Now, this be the same on any PC, but this one I'm going to use all the time. So I wanted to go ahead and change it in BIOS. Normally, you can hold down a button. It's, again, manufacturer dependent. This one happens to be a Lenovo. So I'm going to hold down the F1 button. There we go. All right, so now, because it's an encrypted drive, this is called Tough Boot. And what it wants me to do is enter my password. It's going to use this password to unlock the image. Now, it's not just a simple password that's kept on the key. It is generated in real time, right on the chip itself. This is the way to do it. This drive is not only encrypted, it's one of the few that is certified for FIPS 140-3, and it is government level certified, not just designed for the spec, actually put through the entire spec and certified. And here we go. Booting, very nice. This is my actual desktop, so this is my, there we go. It's all booted, ready to go, and I'm just going to escape out nicely. You use it as you would any other PC. A lot of people have found that this drive is actually faster than their hard drive because it's actually an SSD. There you go, guys. Thanks so much. Visit us at spyrus.com.